What's going on, American truckers? It's Snapper here. Welcome to the trucking channel. If you're a driver, new driver, experienced driver, or whatever, hit that like and subscribe button. There's plenty of content on here for all levels of drivers. Remember, we're all a family out here. We all support each other, help each other. Or at least in my world, we do. Have a little bit more of an old school look or mentality about it. Anyway, we'll get right into this. This won't be a long video. As y'all know, tanker endorsement is it's a short test. It's 12 questions. There's not a lot to it, but if you watch this video right before you go take that test, or you take the practice test for it, and you understand what I'm telling you, you're going to pass that test. I promise you that. You will not fail it. I have my tanker endorsement. I've had it for years. I also have my Hazmat. I'm going to be doing a video on Hazmat as well. Most of the tanker is common sense, but I'm going to go through a little bit of the common sense part, but mostly the tanker specific questions, things you don't know unless you've studied it or driven a tanker or been around them at some point in time or another. But anyway, like I said, if you watch this video right before you go take the test, or you take the practice test, which I will put down in the description, a link where you can go take practice test, not only for tanker but for your general air brakes. I'll put it'll have Hazmat, air passenger endorsement. These practice tests are for everything. When I went and got my Hazmat, that's how I did it. I took the practice test over and over and over until I learned it. I didn't go read the whole book. I ain't even gonna lie about it. I didn't do it that way. I went and took the practice test. Anyway, now let's get into this. They're gonna ask you a series of questions. Some of it's some of it's common sense. Like one of the questions that's on the test, if you get there are several versions, but one of the common questions that's on most of the test is, do you slow down before a curb, during the curb, or after the curb? With a tanker, you always slow down before the curb and slowly increase your speed through the curb. That's the way you do it with a tanker. It also will ask, what is surge? Surge is the liquid in the tank moving forward when you stop. So it's pushing you. That's why in a tanker you have to stop earlier, because you're actually going to have momentum pushing you. All right. It'll ask you what things are used to control surge or slow surge. All right. Well, there's 3 types of tanks. First off, a smooth bore tank, which is just an open tank inside. There's no compartments. It's all one tank. That's called a smooth bore tank. You have a tank with bulkheads. Bulkheads are compartments. Might be split in half, might be split in thirds. And a tank with bulkheads can actually haul different material. You might have gasoline in one, oil in the other, and something else in the other one. It loads in 3 separate places and it unloads in 3 separate places. With those, you have less surge. You got less momentum pushing you because it's broke up into compartments. All right. That's bulkheads. The third type you have is with baffles. Now imagine your tank. What baffles are is like a bulkhead, only it has holes in it. Might be 1 of them in there, 2 of them in there, 3 of them in there. Whoever designed that tank and what it was designed for. It only holds 1 type of material because it can flow all throughout the tank. It only loads in one place because it's all one thing. What a baffle is it's a plate in there with holes in it. What it's meant for is to slow the surge going forward, because that material has to flow through the holes. So it's meant to slow down that surge so you don't get as much surge pushing on you when you come to a stop sign or a stoplight or what have you. Something else that's on that test that they're going to ask you about is expansion. Some materials will expand when heated or cooled. Alright, so when you're getting loaded, you as a driver won't have to take this into consideration, but normally the loaders do. They have to know this pretty well, but you as a driver need to know what it is. Let's say you have something that expands and they fill it all the way up. Well, you're going to have a problem, right? Say it expands when it gets hot, summertime. Well, a couple hours down the road, you may have a problem. So they have to leave a little bit of space in there so that it can expand without causing a problem. That's going to be on the test. They do ask what it is, because you as a driver need to know what it is. I'm trying to think. That's pretty much most of the test. The rest of it's common sense. If you're unloading a flammable or loading a flammable, do you turn the truck off? Yes. That's a question that's on the test. Yes, you turn the truck off. How long does a shipper have to hold a copy of the paperwork on a load you hauled? It's 2 years. That's how long a shipper has to hold a paperwork, a copy of the BOL on the load you hauled. And that's it. If you understand those things, what I just told you, you're going to pass that test. I promise you. I passed it just on that knowledge right there. Knowing the difference between bulkheads, smooth bore, and baffled tanks. A little bit of common sense. Turn truck off when you're loading flammables or explosives, or unloading flammables or explosives. Because it'll ask you that. It's only a 12-question test. Now, you can't miss very much. I think, 2 questions? That's it. 1 or 2 questions, all you can miss. But I passed it first go around. It's a simple test. It's easy. Even if you're driving a dry box, a tanker can still do you some good, because sometimes in a dry box we haul them totes that are filled with liquid. And if it gets over a certain weight, you gotta have, or a certain amount of gallons, either or, you gotta have a tanker endorsement for it. So even in a dry box, a tanker endorsement will do you some good. Anyway, American truckers, like I said, I'm gonna put a link so you can go take the practice test for whatever endorsement it is you're wanting. Or if you're new to trucking and you're wanting to get general knowledge and all that stuff, air brakes, pre-trip, post-trip, you're wanting to get all that stuff down, I'm gonna leave a link in the description. Just click the arrow down, the description will come up, where you can go take free practice tests. Won't cost you a thing. And you can take these practice tests over and over as many times as you want until you get it down before you go take the test. It'll also tell you where you're at knowledge-wise. But like I said, if you understand what I just told you, you're going to pass that tanker test. No problem. No problem at all. Alright, as you know, we're all family out here. We all stick together. I want all y'all to know, man, love y'all just like my brothers and sisters. We're all truckers. We spend more time around each other out here on the highway than we do with our own families at home. So be good to each other. Be kind to each other. Look out for each other. And keep trucking.